Hello and welcome back to Kids Editing. Today we're talking about Instagram aspect ratios. I'll be talking about how to upload your videos, photos without cropping them and giving them a perfect look, without the black lines on top and bottom of your photos videos, and uploading your photos videos in the best quality possible. Check out the timestamps to browse quickly through the video. Without wasting any time, let's get started, shall we? Guys, I put a lot of research and effort in making this video, so if you find this content useful, then hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Alright, let's begin. So I'll be sharing you all the Instagram aspect ratios for photos and videos and the maximum pixel resolutions allowed for easier cropping of your photos and videos. Check out the description if you want to copy the pixel values. I'll also show a summary in the later part of the video for all aspect ratios. So before I start, I'll just quickly explain what aspect ratio is for those who don't know. It is width times height. So 4:5 is the ratio for 4 width to the 5 height. I'm going to start with portrait aspect ratios and how they look. So this is basically how a portrait looks. So when uploading a portrait photo or a video on Instagram, you're allowed only two aspect ratios. A square, which is 1:1, and a 4:5, and they look like this. One thing I want to point out is that Instagram has a fixed maximum image or video width, which is 1080 pixels. So no matter which aspect ratio you go with, your width cannot be more than 1080 pixels, or Instagram will crop it out. However, height depends upon the ratio, and it can go up to a maximum of 1920 pixels, which is for 9:16 ratio, which I'll be covering in the later part of the video. A square or 1:1 ratio is the most common used ratio in Instagram. It is also called the original Instagram ratio. It allows maximum pixels of 1080 by 1080. Anything more than this will be scaled down to the same value. So if you want to edit your photos, videos, you should use these pixel values. Another one is a 4:5 ratio, which is a little bit longer than 1:1, but maximum pixels allowed in that is 1080 by 1350. So Instagram allows only two portrait ratios for photos and post videos. However, IGTV videos have a different ratio, which I will cover in the later part of the video. Coming to the landscape ratios, a landscape looks like this. For Instagram, it has two ratios, a 5:4 and a 16:9 ratio. So for 5:4 ratio, it has a maximum of 1080 pixels for the width and 864 pixels for the height. And coming to the 16:9, which is the most popular ratio and is used on YouTube and most modern screens of the computers, TV, etc. It is 1080 by 608. Let's talk about Reels and Stories ratio. Unlike photo and video aspect ratios, Reels and Stories have a special 9:16 aspect ratio, which covers the entire screen of the phone when viewing on most of the devices. So maximum allowed pixels for these are 1080 by 1920. And you can use any ratio on Stories and Reels, but you'll see a black line on top and bottom of your video, such as 4:5 used here. This is the summary of all the aspect ratios and their maximum allowed pixels. I didn't talk about IGTV ratio, so for videos longer than 1 minute, they go to IGTV, and it supports two ratios, a 16:9 and a 9:16 ratio. If you want to save this information, take a screenshot of it or go to description and copy and paste the values to somewhere. This was all the information about the aspect ratios. Now I'm going to show you how to crop your videos for Instagram in Filmora 9. First, add your video to the timeline. So this video is in 16:9 ratio. Let's say I'm on Instagram ready, so I want it in 1:1 ratio. So click on this button to access the project setting and select Change Project Aspect Ratio. Here, the original video ratio and pixels are shown. I want the ratio to be 1:1. So Filmora gives you a pre-built aspect ratio option for 1:1. Select it and you can see that your video has rescaled to 1080 to 1080 pixels, which is the Instagram maximum, and that is what we are targeting for. Hit OK, and you can see the video in square form. But there are lines on top and bottom of the video, so we want to get rid of them. For that, go to crop and zoom. In the ratio, select 1:1. Hit the area that you want to crop and hit OK. Your video is ready and there is no visible black portion on top and bottom of the video. It's in 1:1 form. You can upload this video as is. Instagram won't ask you to crop it more. So that was easy, right? We can apply the 9:16 portrait ratio the same way, which is good for stories and reels. When I change the ratio to 9:16, the video is too cropped. The girl in the video is cropped. I want her to be fully visible. For that, change the ratio to custom and manually adjust the width till the girl is fully visible. Hit OK. Now the girl is fully visible, but there are lines on top and bottom of the video. They will remain there because the video was shot in 16:9 and it was too wide for it to crop to 9:16 ratio. Instead of black, you can put a solid color on top and bottom portions. This was the ratios that are pre-built in Filmora. But what about the ratios which are not, such as 4:5, 5:4? Don't worry, I'll show you. You will need pixel values for the ratios which I showed in earlier part of the video. I'll give this video a 5:4 ratio. Again, go to the project aspect ratio. Now enter the pixel values for 5:4 ratio, which is 1080 by 864. Just make sure to uncheck this lock button while entering the values, because it will change in proportion to 9:16 ratio, which we previously used when we were cropping the earlier video. Hit OK and crop it now to the same pixels. Hit OK again. There we go. Our video is in 5:4 ratio. Export it and it's ready to upload on Instagram. Cropping was fairly easy in Filmora, but when we come to Premiere Pro, it's even easier. First, add your media to the project and drag it to the timeline. You will see a sequence already created in the media section. Right click on it and select sequence settings. Let's resize it to 1:1. Change the frame size to 1080 by 1080. Hit OK and OK again. Now the video is resized to 1:1. To adjust the position of the video, click on the video in the timeline and go to Effects Control. And select the position of the video and adjust it as per your liking. You can also zoom in and out using the scale option. I'm gonna let it stay to 100 because it looks good. Easy, right? I'll quickly show you a 4:5 ratio. Again, go to the sequence settings in the frame and select the frame size 1080 by 1350. Hit OK. Now we can see the black lines on the video. Let's remove them by zooming in. Increase the scaling by a bit in the effects control. And our 4:5 ratio is ready. Similarly, we can do any other ratio such as 5:4 ratio. Once you're happy with your ratio, click on Export. Control M is the shortcut for export. In the export, make sure your basic video setting has the pixels that you chose for your aspect ratio. Hit export and your video is ready. That was cropping for Premiere Pro. Pretty easy, right? So this is the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video and found the content informative, please hit the subscribe button. Check out other tricks on the channel. Gets out.